Welcome to the Deep Dive, your shortcut to being truly well informed. Today, we're embarking on a really crucial journey, uncovering those often elusive symptoms of anxiety. And this deep dive, like all the insights we share, really stems from the fantastic, thoroughly researched info you can find over at mindexpansiondaily.com. Seriously, it's a resource we trust. Great stuff there. Before we really jump in, we thrive in connecting with you, our listeners. So if you find value in these conversations, please do hit like and subscribe to Mind Expansion Daily. It honestly helps us grow this community. And look, if you feel like supporting what we do, you can always buy us a coffee. The link's right there in the description. We really appreciate it. We'd also love to hear what you think. Leave a comment below. Tell us if you agree or even if you disagree with how we summarize things today. Oh, and one more thing, tell us where you're listening from. Just list your location. We're trying to expand our reach worldwide, so it's great to see where everyone is tuning in from. Okay, so our mission today is pretty clear.
Pinpoint the most common anxiety symptoms, figure out why they're so tricky to spot, and really highlight why early action is just so critical. And to set the stage, here's a pretty stark reality. Anxiety disorders affect a staggering 40 million adults in the U.S. every year.
Wow, 40 million.
Yeah, that's about 18.1% of the population. It makes them the most common mental health issue we face.
Right. That's huge.
But here's the kicker, and this is alarming. 60% of these cases, they go completely undiagnosed.
60%. That's unbelievable.
It is. And the consequence, well, untreated anxiety is tragically linked to 30% higher rates of depression. It's like this silent epidemic hiding right under our noses.
It truly is quite the enigma how widespread anxiety is, yet how often it just goes unrecognized. And that brings us straight to a crucial question, doesn't it? Why? What are the fundamental reasons these symptoms are so frequently overlooked? It really frames our deep dive today as, a vital quest for understanding, not just for individuals, but for the wider health landscape, too.
Okay, let's unpack this then. Let's explore the subtle ways anxiety often shows up. Because many of us, we can probably name a few obvious signs off the top of our head. But the tricky thing about anxiety, its kind of insidious genius, lies in how it camouflages itself. It doesn't usually announce itself loudly. It sort of subtly infiltrates our daily lives. And often it mimics symptoms of just everyday stress, or maybe being really tired, or even common physical things.
Right, blends in.
Exactly. And this deceptive blending is precisely why so many of us, as the sources show, misattribute these really critical warning signs. Let's start with what often registers first, maybe the most obvious physical one. Think about a racing heart.
Palpitations.
Yeah, that feeling when your heart pounds like crazy, like you've just run a race, even if you're just sitting there. This isn't just, nerves. It's your body's primal fight or flight response kicking into high gear.
That automatic biological reaction designed to protect us, really.
Right, even when there's no actual immediate danger. Closely related are sweaty palms.
Ah, yes, the clammy hands.
That dampness, especially when you feel nervous. It's a clear physiological sign your system's in overdrive. Hyperhidrosis sometimes.
Yeah, when it's excessive, that's the term. It's the body reacting.
Then you've got the emotional and mental cues. Many people describe a persistent feeling on edge or just general nervousness.
Like a constant jitteriness.
Exactly. Jittery, unable to relax, always sort of anticipating something bad is about to happen.
Yeah.
Like waiting for the other shoe to drop.
Constantly vigilant.
Right. And this often bleeds into trouble sleeping. Insomnia.
Oh, definitely. The mind just won't switch off.
Your mind racing with worries, keeping you awake night after night, even when you're physically exhausted.
Yep, lying there staring at the ceiling.
Another common one, but often dismissed, irritability.
Snapping at people.
Yeah, finding yourself snapping over small things, feeling moody, short-tempered, probably because of all that underlying tension and just being worn out.
Makes sense. You're already overloaded.
And who hasn't experienced difficulty concentrating? That brain fog feeling.
Oh, that's a big one. Trying to read something and just nothing goes in.
Impossible to focus on tasks, follow conversations, even read a simple paragraph sometimes.
Yeah, really disruptive.
Finally, anxiety can show up in our actions.
Right.
Like avoiding situations.
Right, pulling back from things.
You start skipping events, parties, maybe
Right.
work presentations, social stuff. Anything that triggers that anxious feeling, your world kind of starts to shrink.
It feeds itself.
And then there are panic attacks, which are, more than just bad anxiety.
Yeah, they're intense. Sudden, overwhelming fear.
Exactly. Sudden, intense fear, often with really scary physical symptoms, shaking, shortness of breath, feeling like you're losing control, even like you might be dying.
Terrifying. absolutely terrifying for those who experience them. And those are indeed the familiar and often quite debilitating ways it shows up. But here's the crucial point, I think. Identifying these signs early isn't just about putting a name to it, it's genuinely about transforming outcomes for the individual and, societally too.
Right, it makes a real difference.
For example, our sources indicate that early intervention, it's been shown to reduce anxiety-related ER visits by 20%.
20%.
Yeah, which, get this, translated to saving about $1 billion in 2024 alone.
Wow, that's incredible.
And the good news is effective treatments do exist. Therapy, especially things like cognitive behavioral therapy, CBT.
That helps you change negative thought patterns, right?
Exactly. It can cut symptom severity by a pretty remarkable 50% within just 12 weeks.
50% in 12 weeks, that's fast.
It can be very effective, but the risk of inaction, of not getting help, is stark. 40% of untreated anxiety cases tragically lead to depression.
Well, 40%, creating that awful cycle.
Precisely, a compounding cycle of suffering.
So what does this all mean for you listening right now? Why are these symptoms, even though they're so common, still so hard to spot? Why do so many people miss them?
Well, as we touched on, anxiety symptoms are elusive. They often sneak up on us.
Or we explain them away.
Exactly. We mistake them for just being stressed or tired or maybe having a physical bug. It's a master of disguise.
It really is. There's a 2023 study, I think, in the Journal of Anxiety Disorders that found a staggering 50% of patients misattribute their symptoms.
Half of them.
Yeah. And that often delays getting a proper diagnosis by like 6 to 12 months.
Wow, that's a long time to be struggling without knowing why.
Think about it. That racing heart we mentioned affects 60% of cases. But it can easily be dismissed as, oh, too much coffee, or maybe I should get my heart checked.
Right. Or just stress.
Or irritability that affects 50% of people. How often is that just brushed off as being moody or having a bad day?
All the time. Oh, they're just grumpy.
And the symptoms themselves are incredibly varied. They show up physically, emotionally, behaviorally. They can range from just a mild sort of underlying unease to absolutely debilitating panic. We know 20% of sufferers experience disruption every single day because of this variability.
That range makes it so hard to pin down sometimes.
Totally. I remember seeing an online comment somewhere, I think from 2024, it got like 12,000 likes. It said something like, thought I was just tired, but anxiety was stealing my focus.
That captures it perfectly.
Doesn't it? It just shows how easily these signs can be missed and how we find other explanations for them.
Which brings us back to that critical point. If these symptoms are so common, why is there such widespread confusion? The sheer variability of how anxiety presents itself, like you said, is a huge factor. It just makes broad education and a more nuanced awareness absolutely essential.
Yeah, essential is the word.
Without a clear, comprehensive understanding of anxiety's many faces, it's just so easy to misinterpret what your body and mind are trying to tell you. And that leads to those dangerous delays in seeking help we talked about.
Okay, let's dig a bit deeper then and validate those symptoms we listed earlier. Let's check them against what the science says, according to big institutions like NIMH, Mayo Clinic, the APA.
Right, the established knowledge.
That racing heart.
Yeah.
Absolutely confirmed. Top sign affects 60% of cases, tied directly to fight or flight.
Yep, classic autonomic response.
Sweaty palms. Also very real. That hyperhidrosis, excessive sweating, hits 40% of people during anxiety spikes.
Very common physical sign.
The pervasive feeling on edge or nervousness. Spot on. Chronic restlessness affects 70% of patients.
70%, that's incredibly high.
It really is. And trouble sleeping, insomnia. Yep, a hallmark. Impacts 50% of cases, and a significant 30% report chronic sleep loss because of it.
Sleep disruption is huge with anxiety.
Then irritability. Another accurate indicator, affects 50% of sufferers, often one of the earlier signs to show up.
Right, often dismissed early on, too.
Difficulty concentrating. On point. Impacts 60%, really messing with work, life, relationships.
That brain fog again.
The tendency to start avoiding situations happens in 40% of cases, leading to that shrinking world.
Avoidance feeds the anxiety.
And those terrifying panic attacks, they hit 20% of sufferers, often with those severe physical symptoms we described.
So yeah, the common perception lines up pretty well with the science on those main ones.
It does. The vast majority of what we often think of as anxiety signals are indeed scientifically recognized. But here's what was commonly missed, maybe even by those of us who think we know anxiety well. It highlights just how complex it is. For example, I didn't initially think to include gastrointestinal issues, stomach problems.
Ah, yes, the gut-brain connection.
Exactly. but they actually affect 30% of cases.
Yeah.
Things like nausea, stomach pain, digestive upset.
And often dismissed as diet or a bug.
Totally. Or IBS sometimes.
Mhm.
And I also miss muscle tension.
Oh, definitely. That constant tightness.
It affects 40%, causes widespread aches, stiffness, discomfort, often mistaken for, I don't know, sleeping funny or hitting the gym too hard.
Right. Neck pain, back pain, headaches even. What's truly fascinating here, though, is that even with such high prevalence for things like GI issues and muscle tension, they are so frequently overlooked or just blamed on something else entirely.
Yeah, you think, oh, I just ate something bad, or I must have pulled a muscle.
Exactly, rather than connecting it to anxiety, which makes a truly holistic understanding, looking at all the signs, physical and emotional, absolutely crucial.
Crucial for awareness, for diagnosis.
Absolutely. Ignoring these can lead someone down a long, frustrating path of chasing treatments for the wrong thing.
Okay, so connecting those dots is key. What does this all mean for you listening? Ignoring these signs, even the sneaky ones, can lead to some really serious compounding problems. Let's look at that ripple effect of untreated anxiety. The consequences can be pretty profound.
Yeah, it doesn't usually stay contained.
For example, that alarming statistic we mentioned, 40% of untreated anxiety cases go on to develop depression. That really underscores the high stakes.
A huge overlap there. Comorbidity is very common.
Beyond that, chronic muscle tension and stress. They contribute to chronic pain in 30% of patients.
That tension takes a physical toll.
It can also lead to substance abuse. About 20% of individuals turn to alcohol or drugs to cope, trying to self-medicate that distress.
A dangerous coping mechanism.
Social isolation is another major one. Those avoidance behaviors we talked about. They can lead to profound loneliness in 25% of cases, which just makes everything worse.
Right. Isolation fuels anxiety and depression.
And even more seriously, chronic anxiety has been shown to raise the risk of heart issues by 20%.
Wow. That mind-body connection is powerful, isn't it? Illustrates how mental health is physical health.
Absolutely. We saw a really poignant reflection of this struggle online. I think this is a 2024 post. Got 18,000 likes, someone shared. Anxiety kept me from friends therapy, helped me reconnect.
Ah, that's powerful. Shows the isolating impact, but also the hope that comes with treatment.
Exactly. And it's important to remember that certain groups are hit harder. Young adults, women, trauma survivors, they face like 30% worse outcomes if their anxiety isn't addressed.
Which raises that important question. Who is most vulnerable and how can we better support them? Recognizing these specific risk groups allows for more targeted support for prevention efforts.
Makes sense.
We know, for instance, young adults, say 18 to 34, they have a 30% prevalence rate for anxiety. That's a really susceptible group.
30%? Wow.
Women are at twice the risk compared to men. A significant difference.
Twice the risk. Why is that, do we know?
It's complex, likely a mix of biological, hormonal, and sociocultural factors, still being researched. Then you have chronic stressors work, family, money worries. They increase risk by about 40%.
40% just from stress.
Yeah, and trauma survivors face a 50% higher likelihood of developing anxiety disorders.
That's huge. Trauma has such long-lasting effects.
It really does. But the good news, amidst all this, is that therapy and lifestyle changes, things like mindfulness practices, can significantly reduce symptoms by up to 40%.
40% reduction. That's real hope.
Absolutely. There was another powerful online sentiment from 2024, got 20,000 likes, just urging people, talk about anxiety, it's okay to need help.
Love that. Breaking the stigma.
Exactly. Highlighting how critical dialogue is and seeking support without shame.
Okay, here's where it gets really interesting, I think. How recognizing these symptoms, even the subtle ones, can literally change lives. Think about this real-life story. A 32-year-old teacher, let's call her Sarah, for years she felt this constant sort of low-level nervousness.
That baseline anxiety.
Yeah, and she found herself avoiding staff meetings, social events, always blaming it on just being overworked, stressed out.
Rationalizing it away.
Totally.
Yeah.
Her chest would tighten, she'd feel this unease, but she just brushed it off as, oh, that's just how things are.
So relatable for so many.
It wasn't until she had a full-blown panic attack one evening at home, totally out of the blue, terrifying rush of fear, couldn't breathe, dizzy.
The breaking point.
That was it. That finally made her connect the dots and seek therapy. And through therapy, she learned coping strategies, understood where those physical feelings were coming from, and actually got her well-being back. Started enjoying life and work again.
That's fantastic. What a difference recognition made.
Her journey, which apparently resonated widely online, maybe echoed in a 2024 post with like 15,000 likes, It just shows the profound, life-altering impact of finally recognizing it early.
A powerful example.
And these insights aren't just from studies, right? They echo in our communities. When I recently visited a mental health clinic, a therapist confirmed, yeah, racing heart, irritability, top signs they see every day.
On the front lines.
They also mentioned how common muscle tension is, often showing up as chronic neck or back pain that people don't connect to anxiety.
Right. Seeking physio instead of psychological support, perhaps.
Exactly. Then at a community wellness event I went to, I spoke to maybe 60 attendees. A huge 70% of them cited sleep issues, that relentless mind racing, keeping them awake as their biggest clue that something deeper was wrong.
Wow, 70% pointed to sleep. That's telling.
Isn't it? These conversations really bring the stats to life. I even shared a post online from that visit that went viral, like 18,000 likes. Anxiety sneaky, don't ignore the signs.
Clearly struck a chord.
It really did, because so many people are living this.
And if we connect this to the bigger picture, anxiety awareness isn't just about individual well-being. It has massive societal implications, too.
How so?
Well, the data really underscores it. In 2024, early intervention cut U.S. mental health hospitalizations by 15%,
15% reduction in hospital stays.
saving an estimated $2 billion.
Incredible savings, beyond the human cost.
Exactly. Public awareness campaigns, ones reaching maybe 30 million people, they've successfully boosted therapy uptake by 25%. People are seeking help more.
That's great news. Awareness works.
And critically, education can reduce misdiagnosis, which, remember, currently affects a staggering 50% of cases.
Having misdiagnosis through education, that's huge.
Globally, around 280 million people live with anxiety, and about 20% of the complications they face are thought to be preventable with earlier recognition and care.
20% globally.
Looking ahead, just raising awareness could prevent maybe 30% of anxiety-related complications right here in the U.S. That could potentially save $50 billion by 2030.
$50 billion by 2030. The scale is immense.
It really is, which kind of raises an important final question for everyone listening. What simple daily steps can you take starting today to become more attuned to these signs in yourself or maybe in those around you, especially knowing the profound difference that just a little bit more awareness can make?
That's a powerful thought to end on. So what does this all mean for us? Our deep dive today, well, it really covered a broad spectrum of anxiety symptoms, didn't it? From the obvious ones like racing heart, sweaty palms, that constant nervousness,
The classics.
to the often missed irritability, trouble concentrating, and avoidance. Plus those sneaky ones like stomach issues and muscle tension.
Right, the full picture is complex.
The core takeaway, I think, is this. Early recognition is just absolutely critical. For the 40 million Americans affected, it significantly cuts complications like depression, which hits 40% of untreated cases and massively improves quality of life.
It's life-changing, potentially.
As that powerful online sentiment from 2025 put it, the one with 20,000 likes. No anxiety signs, take back your mind.
Perfect summary.
So we challenge you again, share your experiences, share your location in the comments below. Help Mind Expansion Daily expand its reach worldwide. Your voice really matters in this global conversation. And definitely join us for our next deep dive. We'll be exploring practical anxiety coping strategies. That's coming very soon.